I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way.
Hi guys, so today's video is going to be on this Beaky set. It includes 10 brushes, an awesome sponge, and then a brush cleaner as well. So the entire set is $9.99 together. So that's an incredible price, especially for the quality that you're getting. This sponge is one of my favorites. The brushes are all very well. I didn't find any of them shedding too much. I mean, you get your standard like 1 or 2 hairs here or there. But again, for the price, my Morphe brushes shed and they're much more expensive than this. These are basically like, I think it equals out, everything is like less than 75 cents a piece if you add it all together and then divide it. 83 cents for each thing. So it's an awesome price. The team over at Beaky is really nice. I'm going to be doing a benefit. I didn't ask them to do this with me. It's such an inexpensive thing. I can actually afford to buy this for you guys. So if you want to enter the giveaway, all the details will be below. Thank you so much for the team at Beaky for sending me one of these. I did purchase 2 myself as well. Thank you guys for being so patient on how long this took me. I appreciate it so much. And thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy the tutorial. Hi guys, so I'm just gonna get started with the demo. Just put my eyelashes on, they're still kind of drying, so these are like some Amazon little strips that I got for really cheap. They're like Korean. I put those on for about 5 minutes while I do my eyebrows and my eyes. As you can see, dark circles are dark. I'm gonna start off by treating my skin. This is the Pixi Beauty Vitamin Wake Up Mist. So I don't directly spray this on my face because it's way too much of a mist. So I just spray it on my hand, which I make sure is clean, and spray it on my face. It says it has orange blossom and citrus extracts, which I can definitely smell. It smells incredible, but just the fact that it has like vitamins and stuff in it makes me feel really good about putting it on my skin. I've been very seriously lacking in my skincare lately, and I can definitely see it. So once I've let that sit into my skin for a little while, I use my ordinary silicone primer. So I use just a little bit of this, put it on pretty much all of my skin. Because this is more of a smoothing primer, it does have like a tacky feel to it, but it's much more of like a pore filling skin smoother. So I'm going to open my little set now. The bag does come with a zipper top, so you could travel with this. I've already done my eyes today. I kept it very simple, so I'm not going to be doing that on camera, but I'm going to use these eye brushes in different ways, which you can do for every single brush set. There's no actual, like, you can't use this brush for anything other than what we intended for. So the brushes each come individually wrapped, and then they all have this very standard, here's a Morphe brush, very standard black handle, silver ferrule, and then some synthetic hairs. What I'm most excited to show you guys today is the sponge though. I have 3 sets of these already because I just keep trying to film this and keep messing up. I've already used this sponge very many times. It's actually very soft, dry, and then here it is wet. As you can see, it has definitely grown in size. It has like a bounce back when it's wet, and it's literally air. It's very soft. I don't know if you can see how little pressure I'm applying with the very tops of my fingers, but this is the softest sponge ever. I'm always bringing you guys, or I'm always attempting to bring you guys really good beauty blender alternatives because those suckers are $20 a pop. I mean, I'm not saying they're not worth it. They are great sponges, but holy crap, is this an excellent alternative. It's not like the Beauty Blender. The Beauty Blender has like larger pores. This has like almost no pores on it, and it's definitely a little bit bigger and a little bit different shaped. You can see mine has like a fold in it, which doesn't really bother me. By the time I wash it, it'll go away. But these are very good, very cheap sponges if there's nothing else you like in this package, which is not true. then the sponge is still a good price because this is only $9.99. So I'm gonna get right into the tutorial part of the video. I just want this to be like very casual, get ready with me while I'm showing you guys these awesome brushes. So I'm going to be mixing foundations. I'm going to mix the Milani Conceal and Perfect 01 with the Ordinary Coverage Foundation in 1.0 Neutral. So this foundation is very thick and very full coverage, but very yellow. And then my pump doesn't work on this one, but the coverage foundation from The Ordinary is very thin and very pale. I love a pale yellow foundation. So I'm going to use one of these eye brushes and I'm just going to mix it up with this. Alright, so I'm just going to start kind of brushing it around my face. Just kind of laying it down, and then I'll go over it with the sponge. This brush set does come with a lot of really good foundation brushes. I'm going to be using those for other things, but I will show on the screen some alternatives. Alright, so I put down a lot of foundation, as you can see, and I'm going to use the sponge and pick it up. I just basically set it down where I want it, and then I know I'm going to be using my sponge, but that's the risk you take when you mix foundations together, is having a bunch of extra. And then I have a bunch of extra on my hand as well as on the sponge, so I'm just going to kind of put this all around my exposed shoulder. Alright, so this is where my routine gets a little bit extreme, I would think, for like a normal person on the day-to-day, but I really like to sculpt my big old cheeks out as much as possible. Literally, when I started doing this, people were always asking me if I'd lost weight, and I'm telling you, I have not. It just makes my face look so much smaller, which, heavens help me. So this is the Cologne Cosmetics Medium Dark Camouflage Cream. This is meant to like conceal dark circles or stuff on someone much darker than me. I use it to sculpt with as like a bronzing. I like using this because it's not as harsh as like an actual contour color. This is just a nice bronzing color. And because it is one of their concealers, it is very creamy and easy to work out. I forgot to show you that I'm using this before I got it dirty. This is also from the set. This is like a detailed crease brush, but I'm just using this for my cream concealer. So I'm putting it all around my face. I do take my... So I'm just putting this all around my face in the spots where I would... I can't speak today. So I'm just putting this all around my face on all the spots that I would usually cream contour or even just powder bronzing and contouring, in the temples, in my contours and my cheeks, underneath of my under chin. And I do bring my contour up a little bit higher on my chin because I do like to make my chin look a little bit more feminine. So like I said, this is a perfect foundation brush, but like I said, I'm going to be using this in a different way. I'm using this to blend out that cream bronzer. And even though these are super long bristles for blending out something like this, like I said, this Cologne Cosmetics stuff is super creamy. And therefore very easy to blend out. I know this looks crazy right now that I brought it up so high, but I promise it works out. I don't really have a lot to work with my super round face, so where I can fake it, I definitely try. Attempt it at least, you know? Alright, so So now I'm going to be brushing out this concealer. I'm going to use the same sponge because I just really like the way that it looks when I blend out my concealer with a sponge. You can always use a brush, but this is just how I like it. Any extra moisture I can put into this, I would like. So what I like about this sponge is when I needed it to pick up all that product, it did a good job of picking up all the foundation, but right now I don't want it to pick up too much of my concealer, and it's not. Blends it out perfectly fine. Even though it is a little bit bigger, it still has that point, so it works perfectly. I love this sponge. This is probably one of my favorite sponges. Now I'm going to be using this tapered powder brush for setting my face. So this is also from Cologne Cosmetics. I just put a bunch on the brush. Alright, so now I'm just gonna set this down. I always set my under eyes first just because they like to crease. And then I'll just set down a little bit extra right underneath that contour. And then I'm just going to leave all that other mist there. So this is another brush that I said that you could use for foundation. I'm going to be using it to buff out my bronzer today. Using this Urban Decay Beach Bronzer. So we set underneath of my contour, so now it makes it very obvious where we're going to be contouring. Well, I'm really not contouring. Broncoring. It's really not often for me that I use an actual contour color. I mainly just expand my bronzers everywhere. But that is just personal preference. So I've definitely gone and blended up on that line, but I don't really want a super sharp line anyways. And by doing this, we're also setting that cream contour. So everywhere we put that is where we're going to put a powder. So I definitely bronze up my forehead a lot just to make my forehead like socially acceptable. I have a huge forehead. I just have a big face in general, so it's all about just like adjusting the proportions. Like I definitely bring my blush and bronzer up more than a normal person probably would on their cheeks, just because I have such a large cheek area. So anything I can do to make it look like there's a sinkhole in my bone structure, you know. Change what you don't like. I don't have to go under the knife for this, thank God, for bronzing. The biggest mistake that I find that I make with my makeup, like way throughout the day when I'm very far away from my makeup, is not blending out this bronzer on my chin, and I'll just have like a telltale line. I'm actually going to switch to one of these eyeshadow brushes for my nose. So I definitely bronze up the bottom of my nose. I have a much longer nose than most, I think. You guys probably think I'm being dramatic, but I'm just trying to be like, tell you realistically what I want to change about my face. But, so then on the sides of my nose, I just make it look a little bit thinner. And when doing that, it makes my long nose look even longer. So that's why I shorten it on the bottom. It's very easy to go overboard with your nose contour. So, again, why I'm using a lighter bronzer. So now I've brushed off the powder from this tapered brush again, and I'm just going to be going in and wiping up all that extra powder that I put down to sort of bake. Alright, so now that that part is done, I'm going to finish my eyebrows off camera as well as my eye makeup. I'm just going to put some mascara on, all the boring stuff that you guys have seen 1,000 times, so I'll be right back for that. Alright, so now that all that is done, the only thing I have left to do is blush for my face. I'm going to be using this angled buffer brush to do that. I like to use my blushes to sculpt as well, so I bring it all the way back here and work it forward. You might not like that. That's okay. Blush used to be one of those things where I never bought it. I was terrified of it. And then once I started liking blush, now I can't wear, I can't do a full face without it. Put a little bit of color on my nose as well. I'm going to use this balancing mist from Cologne Cosmetics to finish off my face. While that's setting in, I'm going to use Commando from the Kylie Cosmetics Velvet Summer Take Me on Vacation something set. So this is a super pretty like terracotta nude. I love it, especially if I like have teal accents with the black. It just makes everything pop out really well. Alright, that is it for this demo and tutorial, get ready with me style. I don't know what I'm going to call this, but you know, that's pretty much what it is. I really enjoy these brushes, especially the sponge, and I hope that you guys did too. I hope you guys are interested in a much cheaper, very well made brush set. If you are, I'm going to definitely link it below. This is not sponsored. They paid for one bag of these for me, and then I bought 2 others because I just kept trying to film this without having to clean the brushes, and I really like them. So what's wrong with having even more for such a cheap price? Probably not the most like economic thing to do, but is the busy lazy girl's way. So thank you so much to the team at Beakies for sending me one of these for free. I am gonna do my own little giveaway for them, so if you guys like this set and you want to win one, I'm gonna do the same Gleam thing that I do below, and then I'll just email you and ask you for your address and I'll send it out to you. It's super easy through Amazon Prime, for me at least. So that will start 1 week from today, so please enter that. And that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video.